There are a total of 340 billion trees existing on our planet Earth. And you will be surprised to know that every year, 1% of these trees are used by the world's largest furniture brand, IKEA. Annually, 30 billion trees, and every passing second, 963 trees are used in IKEA's furniture. But who would believe that IKEA's billion-dollar business empire actually started with just a few boxes of matches? How did the weakness of a child who couldn't even remember the names of things become his strength? Dear viewers, this child's name was Ingvar Kamprad, who started his very first business at just 6 years old. His family noticed that this child was quite different from others and had the ability to do business. His grandmother gave him 88 Swedish cents, with which Ingvar bought 100 matches. To encourage him, his very first customer was also his grandmother, who bought a matchbox from Ingvar for 3 cents. People in the neighborhood also bought matches from him, and in this way, his first investment tripled to become 3 Swedish krona. It wasn't much, but this experience ignited a passion in Ingvar to buy things at a low price and sell them for more. During his growing years, when kids are usually engrossed in their own world, Ingvar was selling various household items, and each time, by doubling or tripling his investment, he didn't waste the profit, but reinvested it. When he was sent to school, symptoms of a strange illness were found in him. This illness, called dyslexia, causes difficulty in reading and remembering. Besides studying, Ingvar kept his shop shining in school as well. He sold pens, watches, and belts to his classmates. In fact, he earned his life's first big profit by selling 500 pens in school. At the age of 17, when Ingvar completed his graduation, his father gave him money to register a trading company as a gift. In 1943, this company was registered and named IKEA. In this name, I and K represent Ingvar Kamprad. The letter E was taken from Elmtarid, which was the name of the family farm, and the final A represents Agunarid, which was the name of Ingvar's village. It was a virtual trading company without a shop or office, with most of its focus on delivery. In it, Ingvar started selling the same items he had been selling since childhood. There was only a small shed-like structure where he packed orders. But who knew that a business starting from a small shed would one day become a billion-dollar empire? In the early days of IKEA, Ingvar began importing and selling pens, wallets, and various items. At 17, his work was going well. But all these products were also available in other physical stores. That is, people would only buy them through mail order if either the price was lower or it was a new product. To find a solution to this, he started doing market research. He made a list of products that were manufactured at a low cost but sold at a higher price. He couldn't understand why. When a pen was manufactured for 1 Swedish cent, grocery stores sold it for 10 cents. At an age when boys wanted to be free, Ingvar was immersed in deep market research. He concluded that products were manufactured at a low cost in factories, but the real issue was at the distribution end. By the time a product reached the grocery store from the factory, it became expensive. The only solution for Ingvar to succeed in market competition was to save money on distribution and transportation, which required a lot of planning and effort. Until then, he hadn't included furniture in his catalog. But in 1948, after World War II, the Swedish government began building many new houses. The demand for affordable furniture to furnish these new houses also increased. This was a great opportunity for Ingvar to include furniture in his product catalog. Slowly, his furniture sales surpassed other products. he started buying cheap furniture from local manufacturers and selling it at a profit. As you know, Ingvar had a disease called dyslexia. He couldn't remember furniture codes. So, he gave simple names to the items in his catalog that he could remember when orders came in. When each product in the catalog had a unique and attractive name instead of a code, it also made it easier for people to place orders. This small thing proved very beneficial in boosting IKEA's sales. Among so many companies, the only way to secure orders was for everyone to offer lower prices than each other. But lowering prices meant compromising on quality, and many companies were doing just that. As a result, the reputation of all mail-order companies began to suffer. This was the time when Ingvar decided to open IKEA's first store, where he would physically display furniture. This would significantly reduce delivery costs, because people could now come directly to his store to buy furniture. Secondly, those who didn't trust the quality of mail orders could now come to the shop, verify the quality, and buy furniture with satisfaction. As a marketing strategy, Ingvar also decided to offer customers free Swedish bus rides. In 1953, when IKEA's first store was launched, it saw a crowd far beyond expectations. Nearly 1,000 people lined up outside the store because furnishing the houses provided by the Swedish government had become everyone's need. Ingvar's strategy was working. He still mailed catalogs, but because of the physical store, customers came directly to the shop. This was the first mail order company to also build a physical store. Ingvar had a pool built with his store, making IKEA a tourist spot in town. People would go out for an outing and buy something along the way. IKEA was rapidly climbing the ladder of success, but Ingvar didn't know that other retail furniture stores were now going to become a major obstacle in his path. In 1950, IKEA was growing rapidly, and this was something Swedish furniture dealers couldn't digest. His competitors were still using the old mail-order model, so they couldn't compete with IKEA's low prices. Furniture dealers tried every possible way to stop IKEA. First, they banned IKEA from selling at trade fairs because whenever a fair was held, IKEA's stall would have the biggest crowd. And this was because other stalls only brought catalogs, while IKEA's stall also displayed real furniture. Then, dealers imposed a ban on the prices listed in the catalog because IKEA's prices were the lowest. This time, IKEA organized its own trade fair where no one could stop them. In response, dealers threatened IKEA's suppliers that if they sold furniture to IKEA, they would stop buying from them. Out of fear, suppliers stopped supplying to IKEA. This was a direct attack on Ingvar that significantly affected IKEA's sales. But then Ingvar came up with a way that forced suppliers to supply furniture to IKEA. While other retailers paid suppliers in 3 months, IKEA announced that it would pay in just 10 days. As a result, suppliers began secretly supplying IKEA in the dark of night. Meanwhile, IKEA also created its own designs and had wooden chairs made from Poland, something other retailers couldn't even imagine. Thus, the boycott made IKEA stronger instead of weakening it, and it escaped every blow from its competitors. One day, an IKEA employee noticed a customer trying to fit a table into their car. But the table wouldn't fit. He suggested removing the table's legs. This idea changed IKEA's future entirely. The table's legs could easily be removed and reattached, and Ingvar immediately made this idea the backbone of his business. Making flat-pack furniture made IKEA's furniture more compact, which made it cheaper and easier to store and transport. The risk of damage also decreased, and customers could take their furniture home the same day. This gave IKEA the advantage of cost-cutting and faster delivery. customers assembled their own furniture, and they developed a greater emotional attachment to it. This new method became so viral that people started calling it the IKEA effect. IKEA was the first to introduce the concept of disassembled furniture in the furniture industry, which is now used worldwide. During manufacturing, furniture was designed with properties that allowed it to be disassembled and delivered at a lower cost. After the success of IKEA's first store, Ingvar decided to open a new and larger store, located in a cheaper area outside Sweden's capital, Stockholm. This store was as big as 8 football fields and spanned 3 floors. Ingvar understood customer psychology and designed the store's layout accordingly. The store had only one entrance and exit. Customers would walk through a single path, seeing the entire store, so nothing would escape their eyes, and they would end up buying things that weren't even on their plan. IKEA's layout was designed so that customers spent more time inside. But the problem was that in the afternoon, the store would become empty. Ingvar noticed this was because people left for lunch and didn't return. So Ingvar opened a restaurant inside the IKEA store. Ingvar's thinking proved absolutely correct. After opening the restaurant, customers stayed longer in the store and ate there when hungry. Ingvar now had a business model that only needed to be replicated. In 1965, a new store opened, and on the first day, 18,000 people visited. By 1973, IKEA had become very successful. Now Ingvar wanted IKEA's name to live on even after him. For this, he made a special plan. A plan that would lead to accusations of theft against him. Yes, Ingvar's dream was for his children to inherit IKEA's business. But inheritance taxes in Sweden were very high. To solve this problem, Ingvar hired lawyers from around the world, and their mission was to save IKEA from taxes. For 7 years, lawyers created shell companies, foundations, and trusts in tax havens. In the end, IKEA's corporate structure became so complex that imposing taxes on it became impossible. Because of this move, IKEA also faced accusations of tax evasion, and as the law of the world goes, everyone tries to pull down those who succeed. In 1980, IKEA faced another accusation. There were some factories in East Germany where furniture made for IKEA was produced. But some of those companies forced prisoners to work. People started blaming IKEA for this. When this accusation was proven, IKEA's management issued a public apology and asked for forgiveness. In 1990, IKEA opened more than 70 new stores, and in 2008, IKEA became the world's largest furniture company. In 2018, Ingvar Kamprad passed away at the age of 91. Today, IKEA has 473 stores worldwide, and more than 2,000 new products are launched every year. The special thing about these products is that even today, every product is given Swedish names, a practice started by Ingvar Kamprad because of his dyslexia. We hope you will like and share this video as well. Thank you so much.